Shout out goes out to Rebel Flower. I'm very new to the goth community. I'm still learning. I wish there were some goth clubs where I live. Honestly, I wish it was where I live too, but honestly, it's not. But props to you, man. Welcome. All right, so we're finally here. The Amazing Spider-Man movie review. I rewatched it, of course. Let's get into it. So, what did I think of The Amazing Spider-Man? After rewatching it, my thoughts were pretty interesting. Like, for one, I don't understand. From when he was testing out his powers and testing out the web shooters, there was some scenes where I was like, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" Like the very first time he web swung, I was like, "Okay, that's cool and all, and visually it looks cool, but like, put a mask on. Like you already had the little prototype suit." So I'm like, "Why aren't you having a mask on when you're literally swinging off a building in a public area?" And he's like, "Bro, it was so stupid." But aside from my freaking critiques, bro, this movie was so real. Now, when I say that, it's not to downplay Tobey Maguire's performance, and it's not to say that Andrew is way better than freaking Tobey Maguire by a landslide. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this movie felt so believable when it comes to how teenagers interact, when it comes to how young people try to love each other in the most interesting way possible, and it felt so genuine. Like I was this Peter Parker growing up, and towards my senior year of high school, I was athletically inclined. I was tall and lanky. I wasn't exactly good looking. I wasn't exactly bad looking. You feel me? Like I was this guy. I was the awkward guy. I was the loner. I was the guy who just kept to himself. And that's what Peter Parker was in this movie. Like he wasn't a jock. He wasn't a squeaky squealy, twink of a man. He wasn't Tobey Maguire. He was an actual high schooler. This Spider-Man felt like an actual kid just trying to get by in high school. And it was so awesome to see that. And the moments with Uncle Ben, bro, it was so perfect. Because the parental energy was real in this movie, bro. Like you felt every single line, it felt so convincing. With that scene of disappointment with Uncle Ben, we was like, "You owe your aunt an apology, big time." And of course, I felt for Peter in this instance because I made so many mistakes like this growing up. So, like I said, these type of scenes, this type of Peter Parker, I can get behind because I was this version. I wasn't the ultra nerd that Tobey Maguire was. I wasn't the quirky dude like that. No, I was this guy. Having girls out of my league ask me for favors, asking me to do stuff for them. That was me. Having to watch other people literally make out in the hallways. That was me. I was this Peter. And you felt that. Like, I like the fact that he didn't have organic web shooters. He built it. It showed his brain. It showed how capable he was without the powers. He was able to build that with no enhancements. With the spider bite, he didn't have his web shooters handed to him by genetic default. He had to work for it. I like that immensely. And bro, the CGI in this movie was wonderful. And I like how this movie was shot 100%. Like this movie was shot so good and so well, and it worked for the story they were trying to tell. It wasn't overly produced, it wasn't overly CGI, at least until we get the lizard stuff. But aside from that, it was mostly like practical. Like this was probably the few instances where Peter Parker was really swinging in the suit. If you know the scene, you know. Okay, I'm gonna try to find it, but still, this was amazing to me. Like it was so fascinating. Like the way and everything behind the scenes of this movie. Like I had this movie on Blu-ray and I went behind the scenes. I saw the behind the scenes and I saw what they did to make this movie happen, and it was so cool. Yes, did they recreate the Uncle Ben? Oh, cool, duh. And I know it's not funny, but I'm sorry. Like Andrew, come on, you knew what you were doing. You were just trying to have a little fun with that one. I'm sorry, it was hilarious. Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, the Kurt Connors stuff. Honestly, I don't know why they cut out so many Kurt Connors moments. Because like I said, I've seen the behind the scenes, bro. I've seen all of the heart behind Kurt Connors' actions. At the end of the day, he's a broken man trying to be whole again. And that's all he wanted. But then as he's slowly plummets into madness, his warped ideology gets twisted even more so from doing anything he can to get his arm back to become whole again, to making sure that no human would ever go through this, to make sure he eliminates the weakness inhumanity, bro. If if you didn't, bro, if I didn't see the behind the scenes, I would think this man was just an average villain. But dude, the depth behind him and then the freaking cut scene of him and his son is criminal. God, like this movie could have been so much better if they just left some of these in. But anyways, dude, I like everything about this man, bro. Like when I remember the lead scene that was cut out, he was all like, "I'm beautiful." I'm like, bro, the elation this man feels is amazing, bro. And they didn't even try to give the Jekyll and Hyde thing a try. No, in this movie, Kirk Connors is 100% aware of what he has become, what he is doing, and how his mind has been shifted. And I can't tell you how much I love that. So in conclusion, this movie was amazing. No pun intended. The acting was superb. The chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, Peter Parker, and Gwen Stacy is perfect. And I think we have a new runner-up for the baddest Gwen Stacy. Simp alert. Simp alert. But honestly, if I'm being perfectly real, this movie felt so real. It felt genuine to the story of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I know there's going to be a lot of debates in the comments. I get that. But honestly, this Spider-Man was way more relatable than Tobey Maguire, at least in my opinion, because yeah, I was this guy, you know? I was this outcast. I was that guy. I wasn't the geeky nerd. I was the outcast. And I will give a story on that one day. Until then, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I rewatched The Amazing Spider-Man 1. And who knows when the second one's going to come out. But until then, hope you guys finally got what you wanted in this video. Peace out.